Hey, it's me. And I'm on another adventure with my friends. We are in Death Valley right now, Death Valley National Park. And we're at this fabulous feature in the park. That was quite an adventure getting here in itself. It's called the Racetrack. Never been out here before, but I'm looking forward to taking some cool pictures. I got all the cameras today. I got this one, my trusty Canon, my DSLR. I've got my GoPro that I'm looking at right now, and I got my iPhone Pro Max, my iPhone 13 Pro Max. But here's the entrance to the racetrack. And here we go.
I know this not because I framed it, but because he told me all about it. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Excuse me. Thank you. Here's Rahul and Priyanka, catching up to them. Wow, this is such a cool place. And then Danielle and Richard and Ava are back at the car. They're gonna catch up to us. I don't think we can get lost out here, but this is fabulous. Woo chow. This is quite a walk. I had to actually go back to the car and get my lens hood. I thought something was weird about the camera when I picked it up to take a picture, and I realized, crap, I don't have my lens hood, and it's a bright sunny day. I need it, so I had to go back. But now I'm walking on this beautiful terrain toward the place where the rocks are, because apparently they are not close to where you park off the road. You have to walk to them, and I hope you can hear me. It's quite windy. Look at this. I really love the mountains and the desert. I totally forgot my sunscreen though. So I'm out here on this exposed terrain with my arms exposed. I forgot my hat. My hat's in the car back at the hotel where we stayed, and we carpooled here, so I didn't drive my car here, so I don't have a hat. I do have this buff, and I have a couple of extra buffs in my backpack, so I can put one on if I need to later on if the sun gets to be too much. But it's hot. It's not quite that summer temperature hot that we all dread out here, but it's about 82. That's when I got out of the car. That's what it said. But it's hot enough, especially when you're walking on this stuff. Well, what do we have here? Let me try to speak more toward the sun, even though it's messing up my forehead. But anyway, yeah. Look, we finally made it to this rock formation here. I don't know if I feel like climbing anything today, but it looks like there's an actual trail through here. So I'm gonna go walk up this. Oh, this is kind of cool, actually. Let me get a picture of that. It looks otherworldly, like a lot of this terrain out here at Death Valley. Wow. That's cool. Not a bad walk at all. Never a bad view in the desert. super careful going down here because I don't have my trekking poles. I left those in the car too. But it doesn't look too bad. Looks like moonscape or something. No, it's actually volcanic. A lot of this terrain out here was formed by volcanoes, volcanic activity. So that's why you have this contrast of the reddish looking rocks here, and then you've got like an even greater contrast there, more dramatic, of the dark, there's a lizard. You've got the dark rock and sand here, and then the lighter sand out there. I'm so excited to be here. This is so amazing. I can't believe my eyes. I've been wanting to come out here to the racetrack for a long time and finally got my chance. My friends and I all had the same idea this time, and thankfully 3 of them have vehicles that can make it on that crazy road to get here. Oh, 27 miles of a dirt road. It took us like 2 hours because you can't go super fast on that. You got to be careful. You don't want to blow out a tire. So yeah, but this is spectacular. Okay, so we out here, but where are the rocks? I only see this one right there, and that's kind of cool. You see the little line that it created. But where are the rest of the rocks? So the rocks are here, or at least a few of them, but you gotta walk to them. They're not close to the parking lot at all. Thanks to my sort of eagle eye spotting, I was able to look across the lake and I saw these like little things, like dark things, dark spots. And we realized after walking this way, they are indeed rocks. But like I said, they're not close. We came from all the way over there. And these rocks are all the way out here, and there's Richard taking a picture of one, and then Danielle and Ava are heading toward the other 2. I'm not sure if this rock has any of those cool tracks, but we'll check it out. Alright, so I made it to the 3 rocks that I spotted off in the distance. They're right behind me here. Only thing is, you can't really see noticeable tracks. I mean, I guess you can kind of see them a little bit. It's not very dramatic though. You know, one thing that is dramatic is this wind. This wind out here is off the chain. It is so breezy out here. I feel like I'm standing in a wind tunnel. But I really do hope you can hear me, because I'm trying to stand where it's not blowing so much in the face of the microphone. But yeah, it's crazy. Well, it turns out somebody stole all the rocks at the racetrack. What happened? We drove all this way on this dirt road and there's no rocks. Well, there's a couple. So I'll have pictures of those. But yeah, I don't know what happened. We'll have to ask there's some people doing trail maintenance or, you know, some kind of maintenance at the gate where you enter. So we'll ask them and see what's going on out here. Because I just find it hard to believe that all those big boulders could just have disappeared. Where'd they go? So we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Hang tight. Okay, so maybe I spoke a little too soon because I'm walking back toward the car and I came across this. And at first glance, it looked like somebody was like driving out here making donuts in the sand. But after careful inspection, a little closer inspection, these are tracks from the rocks. This is what we have been looking for. I mean, these aren't very big rocks, but I was following that track because I was like, okay, doesn't actually look like a car did this or a bike or whatever, but no, these are actual tracks. And here's some more over here beyond these. See, because they end right there. So no one actually picked those up and moved them. These are the dirt, I mean the rocks made that. And then here's more over here. Yeah, these are definite tracks. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm excited, y'all. This is what we came out here for, to see this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna take some more pictures and then I'm gonna ask about the absence of the bigger rocks, like what happened with that. Yeah, this is so cool. I'm so excited. And then, well, I'm happy that I did see some rocks. So it's so windy out here that my hair is blowing and sticking up in the back. But like I said, at least it wasn't a wasted trip. I saw the rocks. It still wasn't as dramatic as some of those boulders that I saw like online. Let me switch to this side so you can see me in the sunlight. It wasn't as dramatic because those were smaller rocks and they look like they can be easily moved or manipulated, but I don't believe those were. It was still a cool sight to see. Made for some great pictures, and I'm just looking around to see if maybe there's something else. Maybe some of these other rocks left tracks, but it doesn't look like, at least not from here, that any of them had. But yeah, I'm going to meet my friends back at the cars, and we're going to go a little bit further up the road, go to the restrooms, and see what else is out here. But yeah, that was a pretty nice little excursion. Got a good walk in, a nice flat trail. There might be something up here. Check it out. I'm not sure if somebody might have moved this one. This is a small enough rock to move. It kind of looks like somebody might have tried to manipulate this, but check it out. So this is where the track sort of starts, and then it goes around here, and then here's a more straight track that leads to the rock. And that looks like it was fresh. Like I said, I don't know if somebody might have moved that one. I hate to say that. I hate to think people would do that, but it kind of, the jury's out on that one. So I don't know. But I'll take a picture of it, and I'll see later how it looks. It'll make for a nice creative photography thing, I guess, if anything. So, I want to tell you a little bit about what the racetrack is, and try to explain from memory why these rocks move. And like I said, there were some rocks, like boulders, like bigger rocks that had been moved. That actually left tracks, and it looks a little more dramatic because it was like, how did these big boulders or these huge rocks, some of them were not really boulders, but they were just big rocks, too big for someone to move themselves. And you know, there was always this mystery of how did this happen. Well, what I'm walking on is a lake bed. It's a dry lake bed. And what happens, they actually put like a time-lapse camera on one of the rocks to try and see what caused the rocks to move and create those tracks in the sand. And what happened was, the way that they were able to scientifically explain it is that the rocks in the wintertime or the rainy season, this lake sort of fills up with water, you know, because of the rains and all that. And then when it gets cold, you know, at night, yeah, this is the Death Valley, this is the desert, but at night it gets really cold, you know, during that season, and the water in the lake freezes. So once that happens, the wind and the sort of the, you know, as the ice melts and things like that, the rocks are sort of lifted up and they move, and it creates this sort of buoyancy to them, and so they move just enough to create those tracks, you know, in the sand. And then when it dries out like this, you have these rocks that have clearly been moved, and there's tracks, but it's like, who moved them? That's a great big mystery, and I may not be explaining it very accurately, but I'm going to go and look that up, and I'm going to put it in the caption once I get situated, you know, and have reception and stuff. I'm going to get the correct story and post links and things, because I want you to have the right information. But yeah, but that's just from memory what I understand about how the rocks moved. And like I said, there's more dramatic pictures. If you just Google Racetrack, Death Valley, you'll see a lot of pictures of some of the bigger rocks that left tracks. Today we saw more smaller rocks, so it wasn't quite as dramatic, but there are some other pictures out there that I didn't take that you can see and see why this place is such a draw. But yeah, so that's the story. Like I said, we're gonna head up the road here and check out some more stuff. Okay, I'm back, and it looks like my battery is about to die soon, so I'm gonna have to replace it. But anyway, so we found out why there were no rocks in the place that we were at before, because we were in the wrong place. But anyway, we're in the right place now, and this is the end of the lake, and I just read the sign at the front, so my explanation was somewhat correct. I mean, it was pretty much correct. So this end of the lake, which is where we're at, becomes a shallow lake in the wintertime, and that sheet of ice freezes, and it causes, you know, the rocks, the wind and all that causes the rocks to become embedded, and it moves them. So, you know, that's kind of the explanation that I gave from memory, and looks like I was right. But check this out. This is like a little wash right here, and then you step over there and we can already see tracks. That's Danielle and Rahul. So I'm gonna follow them, and we're gonna see some more rocks and tracks at the racetrack. So I'm following this track here. It's a pretty long one, and I'm just trying to see where it might be leading to. I do see a tiny little rock up on the horizon. It looks like it might be in the path of that track, so I'm gonna follow that. But over here, off to my left here, there's one or two actually. This looks really cool, and you can see this obvious track here where this rock is, and it goes all the way up there. There's another rock, so I'm going to take a couple of pictures here. That's really neat how this happens. Looks like, so I'm just going to walk along this line here, this track, and follow it. You can see here behind me the other rock. There's another one up here. This one looks a little more defined than the one back there, but this one's really cool, just kind of looking at it on the horizon. There were some rocks at the other place. That place that we stopped at before was called the Grandstand. That was not the actual racetrack. We had to talk to one of the workers that was at the trailhead and ask, you know, hey, where are all the rocks? And they pointed us in this direction. So this is the actual racetrack, although at the Grandstand, the sign in front of it says racetrack, so I don't get that. But anyway, we're in the right place now. But look at this. That's pretty cool. It just ends right there, and it's kind of embedded here where it stopped. Very neat. Wow, this was fun. So we made it to the actual racetrack, the real racetrack, where all the rocks are. We've solved the mystery of where are all the rocks. So here they are. This probably isn't all of them. I guess it changes each year, maybe, depending on the kind of season and all that, and how the rocks and the water, the ice moves. But here's one. It's really cool. You can kind of see how it's embedded right there into the ground where it stopped, and you can see the track of how it traveled here to this spot. All right, so we're gonna take off from here, and it's gonna take us a couple of hours to get out of here. It took us a couple to get out here, but this was a fun day. Now we're heading to our next stop, Ubehebe Crater. Ubehebe, Ubehebe. See ya at the next one.